In question 10, there are two cars, and then from time x to time y, which is 80 km apart. So it shows you that at each time, each second, where is the position of car A and B. If we just simply read this graph, you'll find that car A, every section, just use the same speed. So that's why it is a straight line here. And then car B, use a greater speed, travel for 45 minutes, and then travel 44 km, and then take a rest for a while, and then move again towards town Y. And then let's see what it's asking. They ask you to find out the distance of car A from town X at 8:15. So we want to know car A. We are talking about the red line here. And we want to know what is the distance from town X. So we are asking about this distance. You may assume this distance be D. And then the key point in this question is you have to very clearly speed is equal to distance per time interval. That's why it is km per hour usually. And then we are going to find out the distance. The key point is this section and the whole section are the same speed. So it seems like slope equal to slope. Why it is slope equal to slope? Because it's talking about the vertical distance to horizontal distance ratio here. But in this case, because car A is constant speed, so speed is equal to speed. And then here is talking about the whole journey. Left hand side, we are talking about from 7:30 to 8:15. From 7:30 to 8:15, the distance is what we want to know. So this is our unknown D. The time span is 45 minutes. And then here, for the whole journey, the distance traveled is 80 km. And then the time span is from 7:30 to 9:30, 2 hours. That means 120 minutes. So we just solve this equation. So we find that the distance traveled is 30 km. For this kind of graph, the key point is to find out the line with the same slope and find out the distance and also the time span for from each section. In part B, they ask you at what time after 7:30 in the morning do car A and car B first meet. That means not counting this time, and then we want to know when they meet each other, that means travel the same distance is at this point. And then we want to know what is the time here. So again, we try to focus on car A is because car A with the constant speed, we know the ratio. It seems like a similar triangle. Car B is not convenient because this one stopped and I don't know how long the car B stopped. So the key point is looking at this line. Again, we want to have the similar calculation here. The speed is equal to speed, but we focus on which section. Of course, we'll consider the whole journey because we have full information. We have both the distance and also the time span. And then, but what we are interested here is we have the given travel distance. However, we want to find out the time instead. So this is really similar. Again, speed is equal to speed. Even though this looks so stupid, but this is really useful and logical. Left hand side, the speed is talking about from 0 km to 44 km. Because we know the distance travel when they meet is 44. And then our right hand side is talking about the whole journey. So that's why the speed is 44 distance divided by the time we want to know. And then the whole journey is 80 km divided by 120 minutes. So solve this equation. We know that t is equal to 44 km times 120 minutes, and then divided by 80 km. Km is cancelled out, so the unit of time is minutes. It's 66 minutes. So this is 66 minutes later, car A and car B meet. If we count the time, is 1 hour more and then extra 8 minutes. The time is 8:36. In part C, they ask us to compare the speed of car B from the period 8:15 to 9:30. So our focus is this part only. And then after that, we have to make our decision. Do we agree this statement or not? Again, to compare the speed, the key point is the distance compared with the time. Because we are talking about a fixed time interval, so we don't need to care about the time. With a longer travel distance imply a greater speed. Car A is from somewhere here and then go along 80. So the distance traveled for car A is this length. Car B from our starting point is at 44 km here, and then the distance traveled is 36 km. From the graph, it's obviously that car B traveled less distance compared with A within this fixed interval. That's why the speed of B should be lower. But if you look at this section, you will find that it's steeper slope here, which implies that car B from this time period to 9:30, it is faster. But we are talking about the average speed from the very beginning. So that's why it's because car B is too lazy and then take a rest for too long. That's why the average speed is even lower than car A. But of course, for clear presentation, I would suggest you to calculate the speed of car A and also the speed of car B for easy comparison. It's not easy for you to use sentence to describe very clearly. So part C, what we interested is speed of A. It's a fixed speed, so it's the same as the whole journey speed. It's still 80 km divided by 120 minutes. And then we also calculate the speed of car B is equal to the speed, the distance traveled from 44 to 80. 80 minus 44 km divided by the time span from 8:15 to 9:15, spent 60 plus 15 minutes, 75 minutes. 0.48 km per minute only. If you use calculator, you will find that this is less than this. This is 0.667. So we say that this is less than speed of car A. That's why we do not agree.